Hello mga kawamat, in this video lesson, we'll discuss identifying dependent and independent variables. But before we proceed to our discussion, don't forget to like this video lesson and subscribe na rin kayo. Dependent variables depends on other variables or factors. It is something that is influenced and affected. It also associated with the word effect or outcome. So, lagi natin tatandaan kapag dependent variable, ito yung result, ito yung outcome. So, siya yung nakadepende siya doon sa independent variable. So, pag sinabi natin independent variable affects the dependent variable, it is something you have control over or one which you can choose and manipulate. However, in some cases, you may not be able to manipulate the independent variable. It is commonly known as the cause or the reason behind the changes. So, si independent variable, so siya yung again, para mas madali natin maintindihan between the dependent and independent variable, si dependent variable, lagi lang siya nakadepende dun sa independent natin. So, kaya nga si independent variable, siya yung namamanipulate natin. Si dependent, hindi. Nakavary na yung result niya, depende dun sa independent variable natin. So, again, yung dependent variable natin, yan yung result, yan yung outcome. No? Siya lagi yung result at outcome. So, for example, the researcher wants to determine the effects of use of social media in the academic performance of students in mathematics. So, our independent variable here is the use of social media. And the dependent variable or the result will be the academic performance. So, si academic performance, yung magiging result niyan, ay depende dun sa use of social media. Let's say, like for example, ikaw, lagi ka nagpupuyat dahil sa paggamit ng social media, so maapektuhan talaga yung magiging performance mo, no? Magiging performance mo, yung grades mo. Okay? So, nagpupuyat ka, so pagdating sa klase, puyat ka din. So, affected yung magiging performance mo o yung grade mo. So, kaya yung academic performance mo nakadepende doon sa use of social media. Okay? So, ganito natin siya i-differentiate yung independent and dependent variable. Napaka-importante nito class kasi pagdating ng quantitative research nyo, okay, so sa practical research too, importante na ma-identify nyo or ma-establish nyo kung ano yung independent at dependent variable doon sa research nyo. Kasi sa quantitative research, kailangan ma-identify mo kung ano yung dependent and independent. So, tatandaan lagi na ang dependent, yan yung result or yung outcome. So, nakadepende lagi siya dun sa independent variable natin. So, connect the dependent and independent variables to form a correct sentence structure. So, the independent variable is the number of hours studying for a test, and the dependent variable is the test score. So, if we're going to connect the two, so we can say that test score depends on the number of hours studying for a test. So, dito, tingnan nyo class, no? Yung test score natin nakadepende sa number of hours studying for a test. So, like for example, kinabukasan, meron kayong assessment or meron kayong final examination and then hindi ka nag-review, hindi mo binigyan ng oras yung pag-review mo. So, what do you think? So, possible na mababa yung makuha mong score. Pero kung before the test, meron kang inalat na oras para mag-review, so malamang mataas yung makuha mong score. So, nakadepende yung test score natin dito sa number of hours studying for a test. Next is the kilowatts used in household and the electricity bill. So, lalo-lalo na ngayon. No, the electricity bill depends on the kilowatts or the number of kilowatts used in the household. So, 'di ba, at the end every month meron tayong natatanggap from Meralco. So, depende sa paggamit natin. Like for example, pag summer mataas talaga yung electricity bill, 'di ba? Kasi sabay-sabay natin binubuksan lahat ng ano natin, electric fan, aircon, so lahat tayo nasa bahay, so maraming gadgets na nakabukas. Kaya nakadepende yung electricity bill natin sa number of kilowatts na nakukonsume natin, no? So, pag malamig naman yung panahon, so possible na mababa yung electricity bill natin. So, identify the independent and dependent variables in each question stated below. So, how does the logical thinking develop critical thinking? So, what do you think our independent and dependent variables here? So, the independent variable is the logical thinking, and the dependent variables is the critical thinking. So, in order na before the critical thinking kasi, of course, kailangan maging logical thinking ka muna. Yun ang laging yung tatandaan. So, bago ka pumunta, o bago mo ma-develop yung pagiging critical thinker mo, so dapat maging yung una muna ay dapat ma-develop yung logical thinking mo. Okay? So, kaya yung dependent variables natin is yung critical thinking. So, si critical thinking nakadepende siya dun sa logical thinking natin. Effects of fertilizer, brand, and a plant growth. So, what is the independent and dependent variable? So, the independent variable is the fertilizer brand, and the dependent variable is the plant growth. So, of course, kung nakadepende yung plant growth natin sa fertilizer brand. So, kung mumurahin yung fertilizer, baka mamaya hindi ganun kalusog yung halaman natin. Or kapag maganda naman yung brand ng fertilizer na ginagamit natin, malamang so maganda rin yung paglaki ng plant. So, nakadepende siya sa fertilizer brand. Next, relationship between the income and educational attainment of young adults. So, ito, madalas to laging ginagamit no, sa study. Okay, tinitingnan yung correlation or the relationship between the income and the educational attainment. So, madalas ito gamitin. So, ano kaya yung independent and dependent variable natin? So, yung independent variable natin is the educational attainment, and the dependent variable is income. So, yung income mo, nakabase rin sa tinapos mo, of course. Kung elementary graduates ka lang, so malayo ka doon sa nakagraduate ng college, 'di ba? Kasi sila professional, so ibig sabihin mas mataas yung sinasahod nila o sinisweldo nila. Unlike sa hindi ka nakapagtapos, hindi ka nakapag-aral, so let's say hindi ka na, hanggang elementary ka lang, so nakadepende yung income mo doon sa tinapos mo din. Alright, so yung income natin is the dependent variable, and the educational attainment is the independent variable. So I hope medyo naliwanagan kayo between independent and dependent variables. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button para updated kayo for more video tutorial. This is your guide in learning your math lesson, your Wow Math channel.